Welcome to Afternoons with Jeff Hoeben. The Afternoons with Jeff Hoeben show is recorded before a live audience. Now your host, Jeff Hoeben.
Well, what a treat. Welcome. This is the first edition of the Afternoons with Jeff Hoeben show, the JH show as we call it. We're so glad you can all be here today on this Wednesday afternoon. We've got a terrific lineup for you today. Folks, I don't know where this is going to go. I don't know how many editions there are going to be of this show. But let me tell you, we're going to start off with a bang. Today with us, here in the studio, is Mr. Pat Andera. Pat Andera, one of the only men to ever ref the Cassidy Games, which we thought was an appropriate topic today, as it is Cassidy Games week here at Camp Gray. So let's give it up for Mr. Pat Andera today.
Good to see you.
Yeah, glad you could be here.
It's good to be here.
You're looking good.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah, how are you doing in the off season?
I mean, there's never really an off season, for reffing.
Right.
I tend to, be around football a lot during this time. Not really reffing, but, watching a lot of football.
So tell me about, what is it like? You've got this culminating event.
Culmination.
Yep, the culmination. What's it like that moment that you toss that ball into the panda pit and you hear panda ball? Take us to the pit.
Are you familiar with the running of the bulls?
Well, yes, I'm familiar with, and I've not actually run with the bulls.
I would say the experience is probably equivalent to that.
Wow.
Except, I guess they're not completely equal, because I would say that being there at the Cassidy Games is probably a lot more thrilling.
And another exciting place during the Cassidy Games is, of course, the AF, as we call it here. Could you give us another analogy, maybe, of what the AF is like during that game of CTF? That's capture the flag for those of you playing at home.
I don't think there's anything quite like it, and I'm out there along with Chris Topher Adderhold, if you're familiar with him.
A man I know well, yes.
Who helps me referee. And most of the time, he's taking pictures, so he's not even really doing his job. So I'm really having to do everything myself with that. It's a lot of pressure.
Tell me a little more about what it's like to do one of these things.
Well, I've actually only got to do it one time, but that was, the red and the blue scored at the same time.
Same time?
Yeah, so that's, the double score.
Right.
And then you got to reset the balls.
When you do that, can the fingers be together, or does it have to be?
No, the fingers have to be.
They have to be separate. So this is
no, they have to be together. The fingers have to be together.
Right. These fingers.
Yeah, the thumbs.
Thumbs together.
Not these.
These ones spread apart.
Oh, no. You want to have those together. You want to have those together,
Are you getting this, folks?
Can everybody in the audience do that? Yeah. Everybody, you gotta do that together.
Pat, one of the things that in talking to others that have been involved in the Cassidy Games, the thing that they remark to me all the time about is that Pat Andera, this man, it's like he has eyes in the back of his head. He can see everything that's going on. You are completely aware of everything that goes on in the field. So I'd like to show the audience this picture. I should show you as well, in all fairness. But just talk a little bit about what's going on in this picture, Pat. We'll get a zoom in on that.
I believe if I can say the name of the counselor.
Just first name would be fine.
We'll say Frank dot L. Frank L. dot. I don't know how you would say that, Frank L. We won't say the last name, Lippy. And basically what he did is he completely ran over the kid.
Okay.
Unfortunately, that wasn't my side I was supposed to be watching. I'm watching the other side.
Oh, so the eyes in the back, they don't work as well as...
Well, Chris is actually supposed to be the eyes in the back of my head. And like I said, sometimes, he's off doing other things, talking to other people.
He took the picture.
He was probably taking the picture at that time. So then I wasn't able to see the things going on behind.
Pat, I understand one of your other duties here at camp is actually as the head cook.
That's correct.
Do you ever find it's hard to kind of take off that referee hat when you're preparing dinner for 65 people?
I really do, because I would say maybe the thing closest to, reffing CTF is actually cooking meals, because, you get that same intensity, that same craziness, trying to cook. That sometimes the only thing I can do, to help with that is to put the jersey back on.
There's 2 penalties. The first penalty, hair exposed. The penalty is declined. Second penalty, excessive spraying. That's 10 minutes off of break time.
Pat, hey, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to be with us today. Thanks for bringing the Cassidy games, bringing us right back there. It's a place we all know and love. Some of us, of course, get to know a little closer, and we're so glad you could be here to share that with us. So
It's been quite an honor being here, so thank you.
And to you out there, again, this is the first episode, and we'd love there to be more. I don't know what that looks like. We want to hear from you. Give us some feedback. Tell us what you'd like to see. And folks, from here at Camp Prairie to you, remember, make it a great day.